Hello guys, today I want to show you my new Shaddoll-Invoked deck with the new Shaddoll support. Alright, let's start. You really have to play the new Shaddoll Wendy. This card just really brings the new Shaddoll deck forward. It's a really strong card. It basically says when this card gets to the graveyard through a card effect or gets flipped, you can special summon a Shaddoll in the face down defense position, which is really great. And it's also wind, not dark, so you can make some different fusions with this card. Then also Squamata. I decided to play 3 Squamata because it's the most generic one, which can lay every other Shaddoll in the grave and trigger its effect. And basically, you will play then 6 Wendy if you play 3 Squamata. So you play 6 Wendy because Wendy is your most important card. Then for other ratios, I'm playing 2 Shaddoll Hedgehog. This one can search out Wendy and Squamata, so it's even more Wendy's. Then for the Shaddoll one-offs, it's one Ariel. It's the other new Shaddoll card. This one is pretty crazy because its flip effect says that you can special summon a Shaddoll card, a Shaddoll monster from your banished pile. And this one, together with the new trap, makes some really cool combos with Construct. I will show you that later. And then also one Beast, one Dragon, and one Falco, just to have more names and more plays. And yeah, Draco to shoot spell traps, to draw cards, and to special summon back from the grave with its flip effect. For the supporting engine, I decided to play the Invoked engine, and this one is really the best fusion engine that is in the game. And within the invocation, you will always have a fusion to summon your Shaddolls and not break on them. And yeah, Alistair just searches your invocation and is your normal son of the deck, because I feel like Mathematician isn't doing enough, because it can search your Shaddoll cards, but it can't give you the really important fusion cards for Shaddoll. So I think the Invoked engine is really necessary to make this deck more consistent. For other supporting engines, I'm playing a bit some light engines, the Damage Juggler, 2 of them, 1 Trick Clown and 1 Head Tricker. Yeah, it's just to have lights to fusion for Construct and have more extenders. And yeah, I'm only playing like 4 interruption cards, 2 Nibiru and 2 Ghost Ogre. I think it's really important that your supporting cards, your interruption cards are also light. So in a case where you need light cards to go into Construct, you can just fusion them, because you really don't want to brick when you go first. And then yeah, this is also a hard going first deck. You really want to make a big board and doesn't let your opponent play, so you don't have to play that many removal or interruption cards. Your Shaddoll engine can interrupt enough. Now for the fusions, I'm playing 3 Invocation. It's just not once per turn. Other than the Shaddoll fusions, those are both once per turn. So Invocation, you can just loop it through, search it with Alistair. And also, if you have no Alistair, this is not dead, because you can just go into your Shaddoll place with this. This enables your combo. And if you get out a Construct, you can also search your other Shaddoll fusion, your Shaddoll fusions and your El Shaddoll fusion. That's why I'm also only playing 2 of both, because I'm also playing 3 Meltdown and 1 Terraforming. So you have basically 10 ways to get to Invocation: the 3 Alistair, the Meltdowns, the Terraforming, and the Invocation itself. And then you also have the El Shaddoll and the Shaddoll fusion, so you have 16 fusions if you play 3 of the Shaddoll fusions. So now you have 14, and I think if you play 14, you can at least see 1 of those. And if you have too many fusion cards in your hand, especially those who are once per turn, it just can break a lot. So a long time I'm testing this deck since December, when the new Shaddoll cards were announced, and I always played 3 of both Shadow fusions, and now I tested it with only 2 of both, and I thought it was great because I could just search them with the construct, and yeah, I think 2 of both is really enough, and your Shadow engine can really help you for the consistency. So you don't need to play 3 and maybe brick on on the fusions and have not enough of the Shadow monsters. So now you can play enough Shadow monsters and play less fusions. Alright, and the rest of the spells is one for Foolish. That's just a generically good card. It can basically set you every Shadow card. Then because you want to go first and not get interrupted by hand traps, Called by the Grave. I think this card is really good. It can also interrupt your opponent if you set it, so I think Called by the Grave is a nice card. And for the traps, I'm only playing the two Shadow, the new Shadow trap, 2 of those. Yeah, this basically says it's a Call of the Hunted if you set it, and if it's in the graveyard, you can banish it, and also another Shadow card. Yeah, I think Shadow card or Shadow monster. You always want to banish a Shadow monster, and then flip a card, a monster on the field face up or face down. So you can trigger your Shadow flip effects in your own turn with this card. So this is really great. Alright, now for the extra deck, I'm playing 2 Shadow Construct. In this version you have to play only 2 because the extra deck is really tight, because you also have to play the invoked cards. Then 2 El Shaddoll-Invoked, yeah, only 2 because really tight extra deck. I would play 3. And only 1 Ebb Cologne. Yeah, this doesn't come up that often, but if it comes up, it's really strong. Now for the invoke cards, only 1 Mechaba, 1 Raijin, because you can fuse this with Shadow Wendy, so you can trigger the Wendy from the hand. And 1 Kaliga, with this one you can trigger other Shadows from the hand. And 1 Elysium, and this is just here, so you have an out against something like an Avramax or a BLS Link, because you can't get over Avramax with El Shadow Construct, and you won't have any other way. Borsod doesn't work against Avramax, so you just need to have any way to have an out against Avramax. You could also play the new Gravity Controller. This is also pretty good, but the Gravity Controller can't out Spiral Sleeper, so I think Elysium is better. And yeah. And for the link monsters, 1 Almirage, you can just link the Alistair away and give you another link zone, and then use its effect, and then have another have the link zone free and go for another fusion. 1 Cross Sheep, this is really great to extend and go into Appaloosa. Alistair, the Invoker of Madness, this is really good because its effect to search the invocation doesn't discard for cost, it's just in the effect to discard, so you can trigger your Shadows with this card and also get a free invocation then. And then 1 Borsod for the OTK and 1 Appaloosa to just not get Nibiru'd. And the last card is Abyss Dweller. You can bring up with Cloth Sheep level 4s, and your Performer Pole cards are also level 4. So you can make Abyss Dweller in the first turn, and this is really worth the extra deck spot because a lot of decks just lose instantly against an Abyss Dweller. Alright, now for the side deck, I'm playing 3 Draw. Yeah, Draw is just a really good card, going first, going second, and it helps against Spiral, Heroes, and even Dinosaurs, Mech Invoked. So yeah, Draw is a really great card. Then we're playing 2 Super Poly. I'm not playing any targets for the Super Poly other than the Invoked and Shadow monsters in the extra deck, so this is only in the side deck. It's really cool. You can just normal summon a Shadow monster and then fusion the Sleeper away into your El Shadow construct, and then just make your play. So this card is really great. Then also 2 Twin Twister against back row decks, and also 3 Lightning Storm against back row decks. And we have even more back row hate, evenly matched, 3 of them. You just really want to make the board clear and then go on with your combo if you have to go second. So yeah, I think Evenly and Lightning Storm is perfect for that. And Also, evenly also hurts you yourself a lot. So I decided to play 2 judgments, which you can side in when you know that you can go first. So yeah, this helps you to counter evenly matched. Yeah. All right, for the first combo, you need to have something like that in your hand: a Wendy, an Alistair, and a Fusion. Um, it's a bit different if you have the other Shadow Fusion, but this is the better version if you have the Shadow Fusion. You just gonna normal summon Alistair, search for your invocation, then link away the Alistair for the Almirage, then use the invocation, banish Alistair, and use Wendy from the hand to special summon good old Raijin. Then Wendy will trigger and special summon from your deck a Shaddoll monster. I recommend to special summon Squamata and face down defense position. Then you can use invocation and shuffle it back to the deck and get back the Alistair and set the Shadow Fusion. Then it's your opponent's turn, and you will firstly use Almirage and target the Raijin so it can't be destroyed by card effects. Now your extra monster zone is free. Now you will activate El Shadow Fusion and fusion away the Squamata and also the Alistair for your El Shadow Winder. Then the Squamata will trigger and you can lay into the grave Reshadoll Wendy. Then Wendy will trigger again and you can, for another interruption, special summon in face down defense position the Dragon. Which has as a flip effect that you can give a card back to your opponent's hand, or if you want to have more of a grind game, you can special summon the Hedgehog, which will give you the other Shaddoll Fusion back to your hand. So this is a pretty cool little combo that you can do. It's really hard for a lot of the decks to get around the window and when it's protected by a Raijin, so a normal special summon won't help because you can just protect it with the Raijin and flip the card face down, and they can't really get into a link monster because they need to summon more. They can just normal summon and special summon once, so they won't be able to get into a stronger link monster. They can go into something like Gravity Controller. With a fusion monster, but if they have the fusion monster in their extra monster zone, you can just use again Raijin and to just flip it face down. So if you play it right, they don't really have an opportunity to out this card with only the monster effects. So yeah, they will need something like Mind Control to out this, and you will have 2 more cards in your hand to extend your combo. Yeah. Alright, for the other combo, you need an Alistair, a Damage Juggler, and Squamata, or something similar to that, and 1 more card in your hand to just discard for Meltdown Invoker. You will start by normaling the Alistair and searching for your invocation. This gets to your hand, and then you will use invocation to fusion summon Squamata and Damage Juggler for El Shadow Construct. Then your Squamata and your Construct will trigger. Construct will send Reshadoll Incarnation, and Squamata will send Wendy. Then Wendy will trigger and special summon Ariel and face down defense position. Now you can use the Damage Juggler, banish it, and get to your hand Trickclown. So you will have 1 card and Trickclown in your hand, and also another card. You will start with 5 cards. Yeah. Then you will continue by linking away Alistair and Construct into Cross Sheep. Then use Reshadoll Incarnation, banish it, and also Construct. Flip up the Ariel. Ariel will now special summon 1 Shaddoll monster from your banish pile. Special summon Construct. Now Construct and Cross Sheep will trigger, channeling 2, channeling 1. Cross Sheep will special summon back your Squamata from your grave. And Construct will lay into your grave the El Shaddol Fusion. Yeah, now use Cross Sheep and Construct, link them away for as the Meltdown Invoker, right here in the other link zone. Just put away the light so you can see it all right here. Yep. Then use Construct's effect to get back the El Shaddol Fusion. Then use El Shaddol Fusion and Fusion Summon Shaddoll Ariel and also Trick Clown for the second construct. Then Construct will trigger, Alistair Meltdown Invoker will trigger, and also Trick Clown will trigger. You will use Trick Clown as chain link 3, so those can't be hashed. Special summon Trick Clown, and then Construct will send Hedgehog, and Alistair Meltdown Invoker, you can discard a card, which is in this case called by the grave, it doesn't matter which one, and search for invocation. If this is a Shaddoll, this will also trigger because it just happens in the effect, not as cost, and search for your invocation. Now Hedgehog will trigger and give to your hand Falco. Now use invocation and banish the Alistair from your grave, and also Wendy to special summon Raijin right here. Then you can use Alistair the Invoker of Madness again. This guy is not once per turn. Discard Falco, search for another invocation, and then Falco will trigger and special summon itself, face down defense position. Yeah, then use invocation and shuffle it back to get Alistair back to your hand. Now you will have Alistair invocation and another card in your hand. Now link away Alistair Meltdown Invoker, Shaddoll Construct, and also Trick Clown for Appaloosa. Appaloosa for 3 negates, it has 3. And then use again invocation and banish Alistair Meltdown Invoker. This is also an Alistair in the grave, so you can banish it as an Alistair. And also banish Hedgehog. And go for Kaliga. Then overlay Kaliga and Squamata for Abyss Dweller. And also Construct, when you link it away for Appaloosa, will give you back El Shaddol Fusion, which I forgot right now. You shouldn't forget that. You will set this. You will have now Alistair in the hand, and then it's the opponent's turn. Use Abyss Dweller. I don't know. Detach Kaliga, and then use El Shaddol Fusion and Fusion Summon Falco and Alistair from your hand for the Winder, and then Falco will trigger, special summon itself, and in the next turn you can flip him to special summon Shaddoll face down back from the grave. So now you will have the 3 Appaloosa negates, you will have the Abyss Dweller that negates the grave, you will have Winder, which will control the special summons, and you have a flip face down from Raijin. This is all of out of 3 cards, which is really amazing, I think, and with a combo like that, Shaddoll-Invoked is really meta relevant, I think. And yeah, I'm really excited what this deck will be able to accomplish. Alright, thank you guys for watching and stay tuned for more videos, I guess.